Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Welcome back to Gunther's Kitchen. Today we're making potato gnocchi, but not the long way. You know, like there's people making gnocchis, roasting the potatoes in the oven for an hour, or cooking them. Then you have to peel them. We make the gnocchis restaurant quality gnocchis, and in a quick way. We peeled our potatoes, we cover them with Glad wrap, cook them in the microwave, we uncover them in the microwave, let them steam out, and then make the mix. All right, with no further ado, let's start. The ingredients you require for the gnocchis are 1 kilo peeled potatoes. Try to get some floury potatoes because then when they steam out, they can take the butter, they can take the eggs, and they don't get too gluggy. They turn into a nice, beautiful dough. So 1 kilo potatoes, a pinch of salt. Now that's up to you how salty you like it. This is about 2 grams of salt, 1 whole egg, 250 grams of plain flour, and 100 grams of butter. We also add some nutmeg, because potato and nutmeg, perfect combination. You also will require a scraper and a piping bag and a small utility knife. We put, when the potatoes are cooked, we put them in the mixer, and we mix it up and add all the ingredients. All right, so let's start. Okay, the potatoes are covered with cling film. Yes, and it is microwave safe cling film. So we put it in the microwave for about 8 minutes. Now it depends how strong your microwave is. Mine takes 7 minutes, mine take 9 minutes. It really, you have to check if the potatoes are cooked after the time is up. Okay, as you can see, the potatoes are still steaming. We cook them covered for about 8 to 9 minutes. Then I uncovered them and cooked them another 2 minutes. So all the steam comes out. So the potatoes are drying out. So it gives us a drier mix. So now we're putting it into the bowl. We're adding some salt, about half of it, what I had. And we're letting it run. Actually, we just add the nutmeg as well now. It's easier than when, about a half a teaspoon. And then we're letting it run on slow. Here we go. And the important part is that you let it run until the potatoes are smooth. Don't add anything else to it. They have to be like potato puree or mashed potato. So now, when it's mixed a bit, we're turning it up. Then we turn it off. We clean the sides down so there is nothing stuck to the top. And we turn it on again. And you can also already tell that it becomes smooth. It becomes more like a paste. This is the way you can make mashed potato as well. So if you just want to make mashed potatoes, add some warm cream, add some butter, and you're done. So it takes you 10 minutes to make mashed potato. All right, so now we're turning it down a bit and we're adding 1 egg. And we will add the butter slowly, bit by bit. And then we turn it off again and we clean the sides down. Consistency is very nice. As long as you cook the potatoes well, you will not have any lumps whatsoever. It's also important when you cook the potato that they're all the same size. Otherwise, when you've got smaller one and larger one, by the time the larger one is cooked, the smaller one gets really hard and crusty, so that's not very advisable either. So, just let it run like that for a minute, and then we start adding the flour. The flour, how much flour you need, always depends how wet or how dry your potatoes are. So, I turn it on, open it up, clean the sides down, and then I start adding a quarter of the flour. All right? And put it on one, and very slow. They are very light, fluffy pillows of potatoes. Okay, so that's 1/3, so we can keep adding some. Yeah, it's still a bit wet to the touch. You want it to be dry to the touch. So the 250 gram of flour, what I said at the beginning, will probably be the right amount. So now what we do is clean the sides down again. So the flour is well incorporated. And we put the rest in. Here we go. And that's it. The gnocchi mix is ready. So we just clean it down. Beautiful mix. Easiest way now for us to cook them is we put it in a piping bag. All right, so what we do now is put the mix of the potatoes into the piping bag. Now, do not let that sit for too long. So when you make it within a few minutes, straight away put it in a bag and then cook them. If you let that sit for an hour or two, it's going to draw water and it becomes really runny. So that's not good. Now, the water, put enough salt in. Like the Italians say, it has to taste like the sea. So put enough salt in so it's really salty. Otherwise, the water is going to take all the flavor out of the potatoes. All right, let's start. So we're only going to fill it up a little. The more you put in, the more difficult it is to pot. So we just put it in, twist it, wind it up, and then just a knife, the back of the knife, and just cut it. The water is boiling, so we turn down the water now to a simmer. And now we just go. Every time we cut it, we put the knife into the water. Yeah, so very easy job. And I used to make those gnocchis in a lot of upper market restaurants, and they were always very well received. Of course, you can make them as long or as small as you wish. It's important when after they have come to the or have risen, you cool them down. So after they've risen, you let it sit for 5 minutes, then you cool it down with cold water. It's always better to cool them down and then reheat them again. So the inside is actually firming up instead of you putting it in a frying pan with pesto or whatever you like, and it all gets sticky. All right? I'll see you in a little while. As you can see, the water is simmering. It's not boiling. You do not want it to boil. When the potato gnocchi boil, they will all fluff up and you lose all the consistency of the gnocchis. So Basically now I'll turn it off and just let it sit for, I might only let it sit for a couple of minutes because the mix is really small. If the mix would be larger, I'll probably let it sit for longer. Okay, so a few minutes have passed. Now we take them out and we put them into cold water. You can also put that whole pot in a sink and let it cool down like that with the water running. But this is a bit more efficient. You can also use ice in there if you want it to cool down really quickly. But we're not that much in a rush. Right, and 2 more. Okay, as you can see, for only 1 kilo potato, that's a decent amount. So what I'm going to do is just, I tip some of the water off and I replenish it with cold water. And now into the strainer. All right, and that's it. Gnocchi's done. Okay, I'll see you in a little while, then we make the sauce. All right, so I'm just going to show you how to make 2 quick sauces with the pesto, with the gnocchis. One is going to be the pesto one. We just use olive oil and pesto and maybe a little bit of chili oil because we love a bit of spice to it. And the other one, we're going to make a gorgonzola. So let's start with the gorgonzola. We put on the small frying pan because it's only my partner and I who like the gorgonzola. My son is not a big fan of blue cheese. So we put some white wine into the little saucepan or frying pan. Then we add a nice piece of the gorgonzola. And we just let that heat up slowly. All right. So while this is melting, we start the other one. So what we do is we add some good extra virgin olive oil. Put it in the frying pan. Let's wait until it's hot. And then we add some pesto. We've got some homemade pesto here, but you can make your own, or you just buy some good quality pesto out of a jar. Always make sure the frying pan and the oil is hot before you put anything in there. So when this is melted and a bit reduced, we add some cream. And that will be it. It's very easy, very simple, but actually really delicious. Here we go. Now I've got some pesto. I like to fry off the pesto a little bit. Go with the oil. The flavor is much more intense if you put that through the hot oil. And then got a little bit of the chili oil left. A few drops. Doesn't need much. All right, and then a little bit of cream, and that's it. All right, how beautiful does that look? So we just add some gnocchis to it. There we go. A little bit of salt and some freshly ground pepper. And as they say, Bobby is your uncle. All right, so let's put this to the back and get onto the blue cheese one. And then we add a generous dash of cream. It's not the most healthy food, but it is very delicious. Okay, the blue cheese sauce has reduced enough. So now we're just adding some gnocchis. We won't use them all, because then we can add some more to the pesto at the end. And again, we add some pepper and a dash of salt. Doesn't need much salt at all, because the blue cheese is quite strong, quite salty. So now we just leave it there, reduce it a bit more until it starts covering the gnocchis, a bit like this. Okay, now let's plate up. As you can see, the gnocchis have coated really nicely with the sauce. So we just put the blue cheese gnocchi and the sauce on, like that. Very nice. And the same with the pesto one. The pesto one, we made a larger plate. Here you go. As you can see, it's to die for. There you go. Look, beautiful. The cream one with the pesto, with the blue cheese, is sticking a bit more to the frying pan. So now all we need is a nice topping of pecorino. Oh, yum. God, there is no one who would not love those gnocchis. So please, as always, like, subscribe, follow us, and leave a comment down below. And if you have got any other comments or any other idea what we should do for further videos, please let us know. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.